He's a digital creator, possibly could do stand-up comedy, personal trainer, online coach, $1 million smile, creative and spiritual soul, vegan advocate, Daniel John Allen.
The general public don't really know this much, and I think just because it's a very taboo thing and something that I've been speaking a lot about recently is I really enjoy mushrooms.
Yeah, Shrugs by the side.
Shrugs like when the cops pull you over and you go, it's not me, it wasn't me, that's Shrugs.
Am I on the right podcast?
Competitive bodybuilder might need 200, 300 grams or whatever, right? But yet the average person doesn't need that much to, to reach a physique that they desire. Sex drive just goes through the roof. So you're getting way more blood flow. So ladies,
Blood flow.
sneak in an extra veggie or two tonight.
He's a digital creator, possibly could do stand-up comedy, personal trainer, online coach, YouTuber, $1 million smile, and a haircutter suit. Similarly, from what I see, trains hard, environmentalist, creative and spiritual soul, vegan advocate, and wants to give. I think the younger Tim Cahill lookalike. Please welcome Daniel John Allen. Nice.
Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, how are you firstly? Let's not go to the question, how are you?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty good. I'm stoked to be here and talk all things muscle and everything else. I feel pretty privileged and I'm very excited actually.
Thank you. How cold is it today?
It's pretty nippy out here, man. We had a pretty good warm winter and I think we'll finally get a taste of what's expected. So
It is. What's your favourite season?
I actually love autumn. Autumn's my favorite. I feel like it's the just the crispiness of the air and the warmth and just letting go and it's just so beautiful. I love it. It's just perfect for me. Yeah.
I like, maybe it's the same, but I like spring because that's when because I ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
That's when you just really enjoy motorcycles. It's just kind of like you can just get in your t-shirt or wear a flannel.
Yeah.
It's just enough. You know, where you, with the rest, you just got to rug up. All right, let's go with it. Let's tell us your story. Where did you grow up? Tell us what you'd like to share about Daniel. And also tell us something that no one else knows about you.
Ooh, we're going deep today.
Oh, well, just the first question, man.
All right. So I grew up in the western suburbs. I grew up in Lakemba.
Lakemba.
Yeah,
Did you go
Lakemba.
for the dogs?
Oh no, I didn't go for the dogs. When I was supporting the rugby league, I was supporting the Roosters. I did have a lot
made it out alive. It's amazing.
I did. I know.
It's amazing you made it out alive.
I did.
Anyway, that's another story, guys.
But yeah, so I grew up around those perks, Lakemba, Wiley Park area. I kind of moved that around a little bit when I was younger.
I grew up at South Belmore, by the way.
Oh shit, I went to Belmore Boys High School. So
Oh, you're allowed as well. Go on.
yeah, so grew up around those areas for sporting reasons. I thought Belmore Boys was going to be a sports school, so I just committed to that area. And
What sport were you doing?
I was doing soccer and athletics.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was my main thing. And I thought I could build a career around it.
What position did you play?
I played a midfielder. Yeah, attacking mid.
Well, there you go, Tim Cahill. Keep going. Yeah. One more.
And also played for the Lakemba Roos as well.
Lakemba Roos.
Yeah. Tim Cahill played for them actually.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Did really well. So played around those areas and just really grew up around a lot of sports and athletics, and that was my kind of escape with school, and really enjoyed the lifestyle of it. So that being grew up and then moved to Hurstville and then Narwee and then moved down to this side of town, the eastern suburbs for the last few years, and just really enjoy here. Everyone's very active. People really push you to improve your health, and a lot of great looking people as well, and it's hard to not really focus on your health in this side of town. So
I guess you're close to your team, aren't you? The Roosters.
Yeah.
Eastern suburbs boy now, isn't he? He's closer to his club. But and all right, but let's go with it. Is there something you'd like to tell us that no one else knows about you?
Oh,
What is it? A fetish? Maybe no. Maybe what is it? Maybe.
oh, fetish.
No, but not a fetish. That's okay there because we don't. It's what are we? PG maybe. Who knows?
PG.
No, we're not. We're not PG at all, man. Trust me, we've blown that up with Ryan with his cunt words, so it's okay. We're not. We're all right.
I mean, the general public don't really know this much, and I think just because it's a very taboo thing and something that I've been speaking a lot about recently is I really enjoy mushrooms. Yeah, so that's one thing I guess not many people are really speaking about. But yeah, that's what I like to share.
That's sick. All right. You know what? I'm going to go with the mushrooms. Why mushrooms? Why that? Is it a fungi?
Yeah, it's a fungi. It's you could call it a plant medicine, and more of the psychedelics. And the last couple of years, I've just been toying around with it a lot, and it's just helped me heal a lot of my own wounds and.
Speak about wounds.
Pardon?
What do you mean wounds?
Wounds, just things around like relationships, how I perceive things with like my partner, or my family, or the world, or myself, and just kind of really help heal those parts of myself that I been avoiding, whether it be therapy or actually speaking about it to someone else. And it's kind of just really accelerated that process.
How did mushrooms do that? And tell me, because I'm thinking now you're smoking mushrooms. So let's not go, what do you do with mushrooms?
So there's a few ways. You can ingest it directly, or you can consume it with like cacao, tea. You can mix it with a bit of ginger to help with the digestion. Lime as well helps with that. And also consuming some mangoes while you're experiencing that to kind of heighten the experience. I generally try and take it with some cacao, and just to get the taste, because it's pretty hard to down.
Just quickly, is it a powder form? What are you talking about?
So-
how do you create this? Do you make it? Do you buy it? Where do you get it from?
You can get it from a friend, so you can get some contacts, and they usually come very dry.
So we're not talking about like mushrooms in a pizza.
No,
Like, just stop there, man. How fucking naive am I? It's like, I'm going to tell you a funny story quickly. We're going to go with that. Because I always got funny stories. I was in Byron once.
Yeah.
I was up in Federal.
Okay.
And I was there with my ex-wife, and we didn't have kids yet. And we stayed on a farm, and this couple down the bottom were staying in a shed. That's how they live up there. And they said, oh, look, we're going away. Go stay in the shed and be on your own. So we thought, this is great. Just because Giselle's sister lived up there. We go to the shed. We walk in there. It's all done up nicely, like a bed and everything. And there's a table there, and it's got cookies. And the person goes, there's a sign, and it's for someone else, Andrew. It says, Andrew, these aren't very strong. I'm thinking strong, maybe strong in cacao. I don't know. So I'm munching on this cookie in the morning, having a real good munch. And I think, I might grab another one and take the dog for a walk. Let me just say, those pancakes in the morning, I was drooling. I was eating pancake. And then Giselle took them, and we were both stoned. Gone. And I had to come back to Sydney.
Okay.
And I had a business too. I think when you digest something, it takes like 3 days for it to actually come out of your system.
Yeah, right.
So is that correct?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know.
Well, anyway, the mushrooms we're talking about is not pepperoni pizza, but just let's go with it. So let's go. Yeah, keep going. I'm interested now.
Yeah.
Forget about mussels. We're going mushrooms. So go.
So
Funny guy.
I had one of these clients in one of my classes I was running during COVID time, and she was telling me one of her experiences. And for a long time, I thought, look, I don't need this stuff. I'm pretty self-aware. I can.
You thought you were, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We think we do until something big happens. And she was telling me, like I came from this trip. I was looking at these things in the ceiling was moving. I was like, well, what do you mean? Like it's moving? What? She gave me a little piece. I tried it. Went for a little walk. Yeah, had a bit of vivid experience. But I said, you know what? I want the full experience. Give me more. So she gave me more. Went with my partner and a friend. We went to the park. We just chilled out, and bam, did it change my whole perspective on it. The first one was very more visual, very vivid. Everything's beautiful. Everything comes to life. You see kind of the geometric patterns in everything, the golden ratios, all these things. They just hide it.
I don't know. I feel like I want to cry. Keep going.
Yeah, and basically it was just a very beautiful experience. A lot of serotonin's released. You feel amazing. You get a lot of confidence boost, and you're kind of just a bit more aware of like the jungle, so to speak.
We're gonna hang out a bit.
And since then I've had about like 13 trips, and every time I've just kind of had like some sort of therapy session with the mushroom and helped me, let's say, heal part of myself that I've been avoiding for a long time. And sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad. I don't think there's ever a bad trip. You just kind of get what you need at that moment.
Yeah, you don't have to say it.
Yeah.
What were you dealing with? There's something you kept mentioning.
Yeah, no, there was, definitely.
But what was the one thing that keeps knocking in your head?
There was one with my mum, and for a long time we weren't very connected. And for many reasons, she had her own trauma, and for a long time.
What's your background, by the way?
My mum's from the Philippines. So my mum's from the Philippines, dad's family's from France. And for a long time, she was not very connecting. She was just kind of there, just being a parent, just like looking over me, never really, sharing or connecting, understanding who I am. And for a long time, I was feeling not like a burden, but like had this thing against her. And I just thought, you know what, like it is what it is. She's not going to really connect with me. I'll just accept it. We're just going to have this sort of relationship for a long time. And I just had this one trip, and I just kind of, all these suppressed emotions that I had towards her just came up, and I just bawled my eyes out. And I started to realize, shit, like my mum, has done what she could as a parent. She doesn't want to share this pain with me because she doesn't want me to suffer. And at the end of the day, beneath all of this ego that she has, all these things that I don't like about her, there is a beautiful soul underneath. And at the end of the day, she's there to really challenge me, whatever this ego is, whatever this character in my own evolution. And ultimately, she's just like me. She's just trying to survive out here in the jungle. She's done what she could. And I just got to forgive her. And I just had all this compassion pour over me and just think, fuck, like she might be my mother. She might be the person that raised me, gave me birth to me. But at the end of the day, she's another soul who wants to be free and loved just like you. And so that was the turning point for my relationship with my mum. And I was just like, wow, this is profound. I can't believe this just came up wherever it came from. It's just, well, all this forgiveness came, and I'm just like, wow, we can move forward together now.
Yeah, it's just, isn't it amazing? Some of the, like, I'm just listening to what you're saying, how we perceive people. I keep telling people that we all judge people. You think you don't. Like, I don't judge people. But you see someone in an expensive car and they look a bit odd, you probably think drug dealer. You don't think maybe they put some hard work in. You see someone at a pub dressed in a certain way, you think, oh, look at, like, whatever it is. And you have to, I myself, I'm just letting you know how many times I pull myself in straight away. Like I dissect it back and I go, you're allowed to drive that car. Why can't he drive that car? You're allowed to be in this pub. Why can't they be in this pub? Like, I just have to realize, but I've accepted the judging word because it allows me to pull myself in fast. But when someone tells me, oh, they don't do this, they're not like that, I think obviously you don't battle life. Because life is, I think, a bit of a battle. And that's the beautiful thing about it, when you can capture those moments, because it actually, you get better at it. I don't think you can, when people, there's another word I don't use, I just let you know, I don't say got it, because got it's final. I say get it. I get it. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Because it means I've got to probably get it more. I've got to keep getting this thing. You know? Right. So, go on.
Yeah, so that, and then I've had other things as well, just learning how to kind of accept love from the outside world and not kind of cave in and close myself out. And yeah, it's been super healing. I've just been embarking on that, using more of a therapy thing to really deal with the internal world that I've been struggling with and having conflict with. So yeah, it's been actually so amazing, man.
I love it. Oh man, I'll tell you what, Chris, I don't know how you're going to dissect all that, but Chris is never going to sleep, mate, by the way. I'll just let you know. Chris is never going to sleep again. He won't sleep. The guy was up till 2 o'clock in the morning still cutting stuff. Before becoming a PT, what were you doing? Job, career, studies? What were you doing?
Yeah, so I was working at a cafe, and I was also working at a gym as well in Rockdale, Titan Fitness. They've got one in Coogee. The original one was in Rockdale, actually, and I was working as a receptionist. And
Did Titan turn to Crunch?
No, Titan is still Titan. In Rockdale, I don't know. I think they just turned it into an apartment block kind of thing. But yes, I was working there. I was working between there and a cafe in Brighton.
What cafe?
It was called Bianco restaurant. I think they've closed down now. Italian
I don't
restaurant.
think there's a cafe, but anyway, we'll go on.
Oh
no, I'm just saying. It was a restaurant.
It was a restaurant. I think they were there for they were there for a long time. Maybe they shut down the last year or two. I think they're going to fix up the whole, right on the corner where the bridge is. Right underneath, next to the
Bianco's. Yes. They've the Novotel.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. I worked at a cafe there too.
Oh right.
I worked at Mezé.
That's right
on the corner.
Right. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I was the waiter there.
Ah, there you go. Yeah. Okay.
Wasn't a good one, but
so I was working there, and that was when I guess my passion for bodybuilding really grew. And previously I was at a bodybuilding gym as well, and I thought, you know what, why not compete? Like, I don't have to do the juice, but I can just step on stage. There are a lot of natural federations.
So you've been on stage?
Yes, I've been on a few.
What have you done?
I've done ICN. I competed as a bodybuilder with ICN, which was INBA previously, International Natural Bodybuilding Association, and didn't do too well. I just kind of winged it. thought, just gathered the knowledge that I had in Titan Fitness, gave it a shot, and I was like, okay, I have potential, but I need a mentor, and I hired a coach who did really well that day. And the following year, I did men's physique, and that was a lot of fun.
Men's physique. I
Yeah.
can see you do men's physique. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did men's physique, knocked out the regional shows, placed first there, and did second in New South Wales, and then I went top 5 in nationals. And it was a really great experience, just the whole transformation and being surrounded with a lot of amazing athletes who are there to, be the best version.
I think we're learning more about him after the mushrooms now. There's a lot of things we don't know about this guy. That is awesome. And I guess, is that what got you into, then you doing, when you were training, competing, that's what got you into PT?
Yeah, definitely. Just having that experience firsthand gave me that perspective that, the struggles with dieting and sticking to a routine just allowed me to put myself in a position where I can empathize more with people's journeys and, show them that I've done it, you can do it too.
You speak very well, man. He's very articulate in his speech, isn't he, Chris? Not like me and you. I mean, you have an excuse. You've just come to this country. I can't still speak eloquently. What am I reading here? You have a post that asks the question, 5 things I wish I knew before my fitness journey. So, okay, let's start with number 1.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't remember the Oh, cool.
Well, that's what it says.
Cool,
it says the question was,
awesome.
you said,
let's go.
Look, 5 things I wish I knew. So you're asking us. You're saying 5. If I could ask you a question, 5 things all of us wish we knew before my fitness journey. What is it you wish you knew before your fitness journey? What was the 5 things? What's your 5 things?
Oh, that's the question.
That was on your post.
Yeah. Right. There was a few things. So the first one was just the whole protein, the idea around protein and how much we really need. Depending, of course, on the goal of that person, the individual, it all varies, right? And I think a lot of us who are very new can get caught up with the numbers because obviously we want everything to be specific, but at the same time, we forget how individualized that target can be, right? So competitive bodybuilder might need 200, 300 grams or whatever, right? But yet the average person doesn't need that much to, to reach a physique that they desire, right? Whether it's just to be, look better, healthier, more athletic, whatever that may be. That's one thing I really wish I knew, is just to stick to very simple guideline, 1 to 1.5 grams per kilograms. And anything more, like, you don't really need unless you desire to be at that elite level. So that's one thing. Another thing as well was cardio. I think cardio was the bigger. People think that, if you do cardio, you're going to kill your gains. And, you're not really. You're just going to improve your heart health and you're going to burn more energy. You're not going to go catabolic because you're, running or sprinting or going for long walks, exerting a lot of energy. No, you're just going to burn more energy ultimately. If you're in a surplus, you're going to maintain whatever it is that you got going on, your physique.
I need cardio. That's what I look at me, man. Okay. I'm 20 kilos over, even though I look like I'm going to compete, but that's another story. What's number 3?
Number 3. Okay, number 3 would be what was number 3? So you don't necessarily need your protein from meat. For me, that was a big one, simply because of my own values. Yeah, of course. I choose not to have animal products. And for so long,
we'll go into that a bit later.
I was not aware of just how much you can actually obtain from plant foods.
I probably don't still know, but that's true.
And there is actually over 80,000 edible plant species. So to know that, why weren't we highly informed around these things? I started doing my research and I realized there's a lot of marketing around eating meat, right? It's easy to do. Yeah. There's so much culture around it, especially from the bodybuilding.
It's not just easy. I think it's also business.
Yeah.
It's all business.
Yeah.
It's all business.
From all the marketing from the very early bodybuilding era.
We can grow greens, but we can't grow cows. Yeah. I can't have a cow in my place. It's only 400 square meters. Yeah.
Until they've got the lab meats in your next corner. But
it's true. It's another business.
So when I started to realize there's so much marketing around this, and you got to get your meat, you got to get your protein from your meats. It's good for you. Have your bacon, have your eggs, this and that. I was like, hold on, those are not my ideas. That's not where I want to get them. I want to get them from live plants, foods with enzymes and minerals and vitamins and things like that. And so started to realize, holy shit, there's a whole world of plants that I could actually eat. That's number 3. What's the number 4? You don't have to do a full bodybuilding split. You don't have to go crazy 5-6 days.
What do you mean by split? Just for the people.
Yeah, for the people. So you don't have to do a crazy, back day, chest day, fucking arms, shoulders, and get it so specific to achieve a certain level of physique. I read this book called The 4-Hour Body Week, and this guy achieved amazing results just by training 2 to 3 days from half an hour workouts, which blows my fucking mind. For the simple reason, right? Like when you're training, you just have to stimulate the muscle group just once. Like why are we constantly stimulating 3-4 sets? I get it, the volume. You're getting enough volume, right? You're breaking down the muscle fibers to the fucking T. You're fucking penetrating it hard, right? But if you just
So what you're saying is once you got it hit and done, aren't you done? But so in other words, you're not only tenderizing it, you're actually slamming it now. You're dropping concrete on it, bricks on it. You're jumping on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've already done the damage, but I get it. It gives you that certainty, right? You've done the 2-3 sets. I've made sure. That's probably why we do it today. But going back to that, you don't have to go crazy with the bodybuilding split. You can train 2-3 days a week, get a full body workout. You can split it to full body workouts 3 days a week, or you can split it to push, pull, legs, 3 days a week. If you want those kind of results, if you want sustainable results as well, and especially you don't want to overwhelm yourself, you're just starting this bodybuilding world. It's like, fuck, I got to get everything specific. It's like, no, just chill, just start basic. And when you get to that point where you've achieved, all right, I want to get specific. I want to detail my chest. I want to detail my shoulders and all these things. Then maybe step into that world.
Just to add to that, I found when I was at my best, we're talking about best is looking healthy. Was always when I pushed the boundaries but comfortably, meaning I trained and it was business. I ate, it was business. I cardioed, it was business, and I played, it was business. In other words, they all matched up perfectly. It wasn't just over exceeding the gym, over eating too healthy, over cardio. Like it just seemed like it was hitting the mark. I sweated at the gym. I sweated when I did cardio. I ate healthy, but it wasn't necessarily air fried. It might have been oven baked. It was. I went out. I had a good time. I might have not drank alcohol, but I had a good time. Like once you found, I think that's the qualm. You're trying to find that moment. I think that's what as well. Like sometimes we just go too far and we just burnt.
Totally. Yeah. To add to that, like you said, just minimizing that stress. When you're putting so much stress on the body, you're releasing a lot of those cortisol, and you're just what's it called? Putting your state in a catabolic state, and you're not thriving as much. You've got to keep keep that keep this sane so everything else can flow really well.
Number 5.
Oh, number 5. Damn, what was number 5? Don't quite remember. Let's see. What's one thing that I would have liked to have known before I started my fitness journey? To get a mentor. That's the biggest thing. I think, that I think just saves you a lot of money, time, and energy.
How old are you?
31.
All right. Keep going, mentor. And you would have got, let me guess, you probably got a mentor?
Yeah.
All right, tell us the age you got the mentor as well.
I was 24, and he was a little bit younger, but he was just so much more successful. And I think when you have that sort of guidance, it'll just accelerate your growth. They'll guide you through the path. They'll give you the right plan and make sure that you succeed where you want to be. That's the point of having a mentor, right? Just to have that support, the all the knowledge and resources to help you get you where you want to be. And I think it's so important, especially today. Like we need some sort of guidance from someone so we know where we're going and we have a bit more clarity as well.
I agree. I've never had a mentor. Chris is probably my mentor. Actually, some of these young guys and girls, my daughter who's 20, she's my mentor too. And Chris is a bit mentoring for me. He doesn't know he's doing it. Yeah. But I find some of the young people surprising. But I found I could say that my parents mentored me in a funny way.
Yeah.
My dad used to tell me every day what he could have done. And I decided I'm never going to say that. So I don't say what I could say. I've definitely made money, lost money because I don't ask, because I worry what I'm going to say, what I could have done. Like, he'd tell me, I could have bought that property. He goes, what I could have done, what I could have done. And also I learned that, since we're giving, mentoring advice, he also said to me, I missed out on that buy for $2,000. Now, back then, $2,000 equates to like 20 grand or sometimes 200 grand, depends what it is today. And trust me, I've bought things knowing someone got it 20 grand cheaper than me, and I've gone, you're going to say what you could have done. I go, I'll buy it. So I buy that property, or I buy it. And then my mum, she used to say to me, besides debt, what she's saying is, if you're comfortable or you don't have debt or you don't pursue the uncomfortable, she goes, you're going to get nowhere. But the way she said it, and so I kept the get nowhere bit and the what I could have done, and I put the two together. And like I said, and then when I see the equation in between, like I said, I'll give you an example. I've bought a car, I got BMWs, I bought one 21 grand and the other one I bought 60 grand, because that's how much it went up in 4 years in different values. Now I'd say I really want to buy what I bought 4 years ago for 20 grand, but I just went, what I could have done is bought it. So in other words, it's, mentors are very important, and I think you can find them anywhere if you're paying attention though. You have to pay attention and trust it, you know what I mean? That's my thing.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are my 5 things.
Well done. Don't ask me because I've got no idea. But having said that, I've watched and seen some of your posts. Where does the acting and comedy skills come from? Is acting innate in you?
No, it was so funny. So, I think back right before COVID, pre-COVID, I learnt the world of TikTok. And for a while, I was just posting for the sake of posting, just not expecting it to go anywhere. And I just got really into it. And then, of course, I started to add more meaning and messages. And once I did, I just kind of, just bring out my personality through the posts. And, of course, I've got like a few favorites, like you got Jim Carrey and things like that. Just very out of it, big characters. You're just very expressive. And
you are expressive. I'm kind of thinking the guy where you were at the party. And the guy's got the backward cap.
Oh yeah.
And you go, here we go. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it's always good to kind of share your message from a more playful perspective, because people are just way more engaging with that,
Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. And all right. So comedy, acting, it's just you're having fun with it. It's kind of in you. Had some comedians that you enjoy, like Jim Carrey. He's quite funny. He's hilarious, man. All right, let's go vegan. Tell us the story there. Tell us pre-vegan.
Yeah.
Vegan. There's such a thing as post-vegan.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah.
What it's like, pros and cons.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, people's perception around you, and every day. Okay.
Awesome. Those are amazing questions. So pre-vegan, I was running a studio in Elwood.
Elwood's another place I grew up around.
Yeah, and I was, had a few PTs, and I was very much on a journey just to kind of build that business. And on the side, I was doing a party here and there, and there was one evening where I was presented some MDMA. And this MDMA was quite authentic, pure. It wasn't the garbage usual stuff. And I took it, had one of the most beautiful experiences one night, and
You
just
have a
partied.
lot of beautiful experiences in your head, mate.
Oh yeah, so thankful. And it was just a very eye-opening experience. It made me more empathetic. It helped me connect with my environment. I just empathized a lot more. And the following day, I was having some beef for lunch, and I've got this pet dog, right? Beautiful Belgian Shepherd Husky, best friend, amazing. And I started to realize that the dog and the beef that I was eating aren't too very different. One is domesticated and one we've decided to eat. And so I thought, shit, like, why am I eating a cow that has the very same traits of a dog, right? Just like what they do in China, right? In China, they eat dogs because they look at them as just food, in the same way that we look at cows as just food. but that's just some cultural conditioning.
How old were you when you had that realization?
24.
24. And prior to that, you just ate everything?
I just ate,
Pepperoni
oh
pizzas?
man,
You
I
were like-
loved, big meat lover fan, cheeseburgers,
Yeah, okay.
calamari, fish, salmon, everything you can think of.
The good old bacon egg
Oh,
rolls.
yeah, that was one of my,
Bunnings, hot dogs.
oh man,
You're on.
everything.
Okay, so we got the pre.
Yeah, yeah.
To
So,
smash up the pre a bit, you know?
yeah, so definitely was a big fan of food. And yeah, so just kind of let it go, just let go of the meat. And then I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm getting more energy now. I'm feeling a little lighter. I'm feeling I can still get the same results in training and exercise. And what else can I let go of? I let go of the chicken. Chicken was a hard one to let go. That was one of my fave. Triple fillet burger from fucking Neo's.
Neo's on the corner there.
Yeah.
Park.
Oh man. Oh, they got the
Christ.
best chicken burgers.
They do.
And yeah,
They're in San Susie. You might get them to sponsor us, by the way, Chris. We've got to talk to them for this plug. But go on.
yeah. So let go of the chicken, and then eventually the fish, and then I started to do more research around animal agriculture. So I realized, shit, watched all these docos. Fuck, we treat animals like shit. Like, oh man, this is way too much. I've got to let it go. And so I started to let go of the dairy, the cheese, all these things. You know, being the hardest for simple reasons. You know. These things like dairy are very addictive because they've got these certain compounds that make the baby calf return to its mother, so it can continue feeding until into adulthood, which is why it's one of the hardest things to let go when you are transitioning. So and then just kind of realize, oh shit, like I can live without it. I got more energy. I can still build muscle. I can get a good workout. I'll just keep going. And so it's been almost 6 years now, and haven't looked back. Energy-wise, I haven't had any issues. I've had good blood results every time I've been tested. Never really lethargic. For security reasons, I just have maybe B12 if I need to. If I'm feeling a little bit off. Iron, I get that all from my foods. Seeds, tofu, fucking mock meats, beans, yada, yada. But yeah, I've never had an issue with energy whatsoever. Man, okay, so that is a big one. So what I've noticed, huge, was
You're gonna boast now, aren't you?
your sex drive just goes through the roof. So you're getting way more blood flow.
Like this down, Chris.
Way more blood flow. So ladies,
Blood flow, man.
sneak in an extra veggie or two tonight.
True.
Yeah, way more blood flow. So I've noticed that the biggest difference was I was getting way more erections. And just my libido is just through the roof. Of course, you can still go vegan and not have all those sort of positive effects. If you're eating a lot of junk food, processed stuff, like that can really ruin that. But the more whole foods you eat, the better. You'll notice immediately your drive just goes through the roof.
Wow. And so tell us about people's perception sometimes, like, because I know, I'll give you an example. Not on. I look. I've tried vegan.
Yeah.
I've tried vegetarian. I'm a meat eater right now. The only thing I can say, and I'm not here to debate. It's not about a debate. What I'm saying is, I've realised how we have. It's not even taken for granted. It's more like, if we really want to dissect it back, cows eat grass and chickens eat worms.
Yeah.
And we're giving everything grained. It's kind of like, already I'm starting to backtrack. Who knows where I might end up? I could end up vegan. But at the moment, I'm focusing on what they're eating for. If I'm to eat them, what are these guys eating?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm thinking to myself, why... What does all this mean? And even with all the certifications mean nothing. It's more like, I don't care about the certifications as much.
Yeah.
What I care about is the habitat, where it came from, what it's like. All that's, I think, what's more important than just throwing down food down your throat, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think it's very important to know that we are what we consume, and you become what you consume. So, mindfully, like that's the greatest question you can ask yourself when you are eating, right? What's on my plate? How did it get there? What did it take to produce that? Yes. And ultimately, how's that going to affect me internally? Because again, like if you're eating a lot of meat, like ask yourself, how how was it killed? Like, and if it died in fear, like you are going to consume that sort of energy as well. And just same thing with plants, right? Yeah, all right, plants, they scream and they die, but you got to realize they don't have a central nervous system as well. So, yeah, when you are consuming these foods, like ask yourself, like, has it been fucking fucked over with like pesticides? Has it been brutally tortured, or like what is on it, and how is it going to affect you internally?
Yeah, and so when I ask that question, even I've noticed like I actually have decided, just to let you know, I don't. I only drink to have a drink with someone.
Okay.
I don't drink anymore to commiserate, and I don't drink to celebrate, because what I realise is I'm washing away the emotions. So usually and even when I'm out to dinner with someone, I try to stay present so I don't falsely romanticize something.
Yeah.
Because alcohol and environments can just make a false perception in things. So, but what I've realised is sometimes when you're out with someone and you go, "Oh, I don't want to drink," they're like offended.
Yeah.
You go like, "But you can drink, man. Why are you offended that I don't want to drink?" And you probably have a lot of people. You go, "I don't want a burger."
Yeah.
Bro, what's wrong? Like,
Yeah.
you go, "There's nothing wrong. Why are you making something wrong with me?"
Yeah.
So tell me, how's people's perception sometimes?
Very good question. So yeah, like I guess it comes down to cultural conditioning and how we perceive certain things.
Your parents, why? I used to make you
Yeah.
this meat dish.
Yeah.
You don't need it anymore. Go on.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we think we need these things, right? We've become so accustomed to these lifestyles that a lot of people don't know what it's like to live without it, without the meat, without the alcohol, without the drugs, without the cigarettes, the vapes, all these things, and
I've done all that.
yeah. And when you become that walking testimony, people freak out and they, someone get,
Drag you in.
yeah, exactly. They want you to back into reality to normalize their behavior, right? And I get it. I totally get it. Some of these things are so hard to let go, and you want to feel safe around people who do those same things, but ultimately, you've just got to stick by what you do and respect you enough to say no, like I don't need it. And if they don't really respect that, then why are you with them? That's
I know. Again, I'm 54, just to let you know. But the one thing I tell my kids, or what I know, is one, it's a lonely place, and that's okay. 2, you're always going to pick hard. In other words, just pick one though.
yeah.
So you're going to be. So in other words, it's hard to say no to someone forcing you to do something, but when you do it, the hard bit is dealing with yourself that you did it and you didn't go with the first hard.
Yeah.
So in other words, it's hard to get up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym, but then when you get up at 9 o'clock and you feel like shit and you wish you went, that's hard. And there's also, at the end of the day, there's scary. You just got to pick scary. So, or pick hard, which is hard, which is the hard part. Hard to say no. I'm not going to look. I don't want alcohol, man. Or drink it next morning. Feel that hard. There's hard that. So in other words, just choose one and go with it. And I think hopefully you choose the right hard and you choose the right what's it called, the right scary. But yeah, so people obviously, like I said, you're probably always getting a lot of questions. Why?
Yeah, definitely. And they some of them, they do realize, okay, it's just his moral choice. He chooses not to, whatever. But they just don't kind of get it, because it's like, well, come on, this is the way, And ultimately, you just got to realize that's their way. This is your way, and we can still walk this path together, and share our differences and not get too caught up in those beliefs.
What's family like with that?
My mum was okay. She didn't really kind of question it so much. She just kind of knew, like, all right, stop eating meat, because she knew she could still make some of those dishes that that I love, that meat free, and it forced me to really become a really good cook. And that's the great thing about it as well. When you make that transition, you get very creative. You're adding all different flavors, and you're making your dishes taste like so much better. So you're forced to become a really good cook, especially, if you're single, you're by yourself, it's like, fuck, like, I need this, but I want it to taste fucking awesome. And so you get very creative with it. You learn from other people who've already done it. You whip up whatever you have in the kitchen, and you go through this journey of becoming some sort of fucking chef in the kitchen.
I remember driving when I was being a vegan, driving to my family's barbecues, and I thought I was king till I walked in the door and smelled the barbecue and the shish and the souvlakia there, and I was like, too late. Give us a lamb cutlet. I'm gone every time. But I suppose again, always moving along with the questions. And what about partners? Do you feel it's important to have a partner that's vegan too? How do you find that collaboration?
Absolutely. I think they've got to be a lot of similarities as well.
I think so.
My few ex-partners, one of them was vegetarian and I was transitioning to vegan, and most of the reason I let that relationship go was she just didn't want to. She wanted to hang on to the dairy, and for me, it was very important. You know, I want to come home to like a meat-free meal, and I don't want to be part of that sort of, not just the table, but just that meal where she's having that, and I don't want to feel like a burden towards.
How did you do that though? How did she feel about that?
I mean, she was okay. She just
okay?
knew. I just kind of let it go. You know, we're still good friends now, and yeah, the last few partners have been amazing. You know, they're already vegan. They already get it. We share the same desire for foods, and it just makes it so much easier. You know, food is love, and a lot of our relationships are revolved around that. And I find it very strange. I've seen partners who are very different, and I don't know how they do it. Sometimes they don't even eat on the same table. One eats, you know, makes their own meal, the other person makes their own meal, and then sometimes they'll,
Tell you what, I again opening up. Soon will just be a podcast on Steve. Steve's sad stories. But the thing is, what I mean is by that is, when like I said, I'm divorced. When it was all going to shit.
Yeah.
And I won't mention her name, Giselle. She's all right. She'll do it. Beautiful French name, by the way.
Yeah.
And she was beautiful. Look, she still is beautiful.
Yeah.
But having said that, when she used to cook, I'd go, listen, if you're cooking with hate, I don't want it.
Yeah. Or
I said, fuck it. I don't want it. You're going to cook? Yeah. Cook for love or just don't fucking cook. And I was adamant. Yeah. Man, and the funny thing is when I go, I'll tell you that when I go, I believe anything cooked with love is not fattening. I'm just letting you know. Anything with love is not fattening. Yeah. So when I'd go over and my auntie's made these beautiful cookies or cakes and I'd come and she'd go, have some? I go, no, I don't want it. She goes, but I made them. I went, oh, okay, you got to make them. So I'm always, when someone tells me they made it, even if I'm full, I eat it because everything's just packaged. Like I bought this cake from Coles. I think I actually go, no thanks. I bought these cookies from so-and-so. No thanks. But when they tell me I baked them, I made them, I go, you made that from scratch? I'll eat it because I think it's a beautiful thing. Someone's put time and effort into something and you're going to feel that love. Which
absolutely.
Is what I'm using.
Yeah, absolutely. My partner is very much the same, and she won't say no to anything made with love. And you make a good point with that. You know, it's probably why a lot of our grandma's cooking tastes so amazing because the intention behind it, the energy that they put into that is just full of love. You know, you try you'll see someone who's fucking cooking with rage, and you're like, what the fuck is this bullshit? You know, there's no respect on that plate. You know,
it's everything. Even like I said, when I cook, I kind of cut the tomatoes on their own, then I cut the cucumbers on their own, and then I cut this on its own, and then I add that first. And it's like I give it a moment in time. I said, no. And people are like, no, just throw it all in there. I go, no, just give it a moment. Everything has a moment. So anyway, it's funny. Awesome. I did not know I was such a spiritual soul. That's another story. Well, let me get my questions ready. Where are we? Explain to us, the viewers, why and how important social media, such as some of your posts on health and fitness and why you're posting that, you're showing what your advocacy is.
Yeah.
Why is it so important to put it out there? Because you can do it and you don't have to put it out there, but you're putting it out there. Why?
My main motivation is just to help inspire people because I know what it's like to be at that low point. And I think if you have something valuable that you can bring, just share it anyway. Don't question it. Don't worry about your friends. Don't worry about your high school mates or your mum or your dad.
Who likes it, who dislikes it, just put it out there.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about the validation. Just put it out there because you don't know whose life you can change. And that's what really drives me forward, you know, is when I get those DMs saying like, thank you so much. Like I feel less alone in this journey or whatever it is, you know, and you never know because I was once that person. You could be that person right now. And you understand that, you know, we're here to inspire others. And, you know, with technology now, like, you can share almost anything, you know, and like, fuck, who cares if you're going to get cancelled or someone's going to judge you, you know? At the end of the day, you came here to express yourself and, you know, and be that person, you know? So.
And I suppose we spoke prior, this is why you're on Muscle Talks.
Yeah.
And why we've pivoted this way, me and Chris. It's that one person. We don't know who that will be. And I'm okay who doesn't like us. I've accepted that.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. But when you find the one that resonate with you, that's the humbling part. That's the bit that's soft and cozy. The ones that don't like you, it's kind of like, I get it, buddy. You don't like me.
Yeah.
It's all good. Like, there's times I get up in the morning and don't like myself. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I kind of, like I said, and hence where we're going with Muscle Talks. All right. So I guess we already know the answer to this one, but like I said, I've seen you on social media. So you're very spiritual. So we're talking about food, but there's a spiritual side.
Yeah.
Like, what's your spiritual side? Explain. Is it Mother Nature? Is it flowing energy? Is it God? What is it?
Very good question. I think a lot of people have a certain perception, just like the same way they will perceive vegans or bodybuilders or whatever it is, right? There's some certain stereotype. A lot of people think spirituality is doing yoga in the woods, fucking
Kumbaya.
yeah, kumbaya under the fucking tree, dancing away. No, it's far from that, and it's a very personal journey. And I think spirituality to me is your connection with Source, God, whatever it may be, your higher self, and understanding there is this deeper reality that we don't really see. And, humans themselves are blind by less than 1%. We can only see 0.003% of the light spectrum, which makes us ask, how much of reality do we actually see? And, going through my journey many years ago, after taking the MDMA, that really opened me up. I was dating this girl. She was super spiritual. She was like a gypsy. There was this one time, we're sitting on the couch, she was over at my place, and she's like, there's this thing in the room. I was like, what the fuck are you on about? She goes, there's this thing, it's like floating around. I'm like, what? And I put my hand there, and there's this cold energy, it just goes through my fingers, and I'm just and that was my first kind of like aha moment. I was like, what the fuck is reality? Like, there's this thing. She's like, all right. And we're just chilling. I'm like, okay, so for her, it's normal. For me, it's very foreign to me. And so these things just dancing, I could feel it. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And then to the corner of my eye, I could see this like childlike shadow just zoom through the fucking corridors. I'm like, did you see that? She's like, yeah. It's like, what the fuck? I'm like, all right, I'm spinning out. I'm like, what the fuck is reality? I start questioning everything. And I tell my brother, I go, hey bro, like this happened. I'm like, whoa, it's right here. It's on this carpet. I'm like going up and down, and he freezes. He goes, every time I stand there, I feel something freezing. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, okay, I might be a little bit loopy. There's more to reality than I know. And one time she was in Canada. She was going on a little fucking van journey with her best friend, smoking a lot of weed. And I did this one thing. I was in the shower and I was pretending to salsa dance with her, right? My ego was like, you're a loser. What are you doing? Like, why are you pretending to salsa dance with her, right? And my heart was just like getting into it. I was like, you know what, I'll just try, whatever. The next day, she goes to me, oh, hey, Dan, last night I had a dream we were salsa dancing. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck did that happen? She had no idea, absolutely no idea what I was doing. And she there was this connection. I thought, okay, just did some research around, these things and look at the science behind these things and started to realize there's a whole world. Shout out to Spiritual Science or Science Spiritual. They have a lot of information on this where you can learn more about like connecting spirituality and science and all these profound things like synchronicities, there's moments where you get like coincidences, like you think of someone, they call you, like, what the fuck? Or, you might be on a path and you've always wanted to meet someone and that person just comes at the right moment, at the right time, almost just like organized by the universe, like just divinely. You're like,
so you don't think we should blame Google for that at our phone?
Yeah.
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 I've got more to add to that. Look, I'll tell you something funny. I've seduced a girl from far.
Okay.
And being in the shower too. I didn't do anything to myself in the shower. Sorry. Chris, you can edit that one. You can really go. No, truthfully.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you now, you can't do anything that you did if you don't feel love. Love is the power. I'm just letting you know. And I'll give you an example. From 16 years old, I could grab the sun's rays and the earth's core through my body, and I could send it. The only thing was I used to empty my tanks, and I was gone. After I did it, like through healing someone, but you can only do it if you love someone.
Right.
Meaning love, not love like love like a wife or girlfriend or whatever, partner, but love. There's something in you that love, right? But I've learned how to channel it and put it on autopilot now. So I actually know how to click an autopilot on, and it actually now doesn't come from me, it comes through me.
Wow.
So I've been doing that and visualization from a very young age. So what you're telling me doesn't really surprise me, but jokingly, I've done stuff, and trust me, I've gone like, what the fuck? Like I've had someone say to me, I just had an orgasm.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew you did. How do you know that?
Yeah.
I said I was there.
Yeah.
But you weren't. Like, but it's not like it's not. To be honest, they're like sporadic, out of the blue, in your moment, something you feel. Both love, healing. I've done crazy shit. I've healed my daughter in the middle of a playground when she's been bullied and having anxiety.
Yeah, right.
And I was sitting at Fortune's up in Gold Coast beside the pool, and I've channeled, and I was no more at the pool.
Wow.
I was zooming down to Sydney at school into her heart, and the school rang me and said she's back. Okay,
Wow.
I know she's back.
It's amazing.
So it's amazing what you can do.
Yeah.
Love is, but hate doesn't do anything. No. It's all about the love. There's something about connection with giving, surrendering, but a love is the strength that holds you.
100%, definitely. Most powerful force. That's why we're here.
It is why we're here. I won't go any further, but I'll tell you something. Another thing about spirituality that I heard, they talk about it being a channel, a wave. I'll give you an example. Let's look at television.
Yeah.
That television's not on.
No.
But there's a channel still going. So in other words, your body is just the television. The channel's still playing.
Yeah.
So once you've switched off the body, the channel's still playing.
Yeah, right.
So in other words, even though that TV's off,
Yeah.
the channel's still playing.
Yeah.
So in other words, possibly life is still going. You're just a television set. And when the television set's done, the channel's still playing.
That is an absolute head fuck. Yeah. It's so true. It is so true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're just broadcasting.
So once you switch on the television, the channel connects.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you switch on, it connects to you.
Yeah.
But when you're not connected, the channel still plays.
Absolutely.
So, I thought I'd share with that.
That was a good one. I like that analogy.
Thank you. Either you like movies, quoting scenes, and some of your posts, like Avatar 2 and The Matrix. Are you a movie buff, or are those movies portraying your everyday view of life? Then, how is life like Matrix and Avatar viewed with you? Like you've played those parts, so you've gone the Avatar part, and then you've gone the pure part.
Yeah. So, what a lot of people will say that in the spiritual, conscious, woke, fucking red pill community is that Matrix was a documentary, right? And it's basically on the idea that we're living in some sort of simulation. And those were very good examples of, what, life can be, right? So you can choose to live life how you want, and also, or choose to live life through the eyes of others, which is this whole system, right? This whole matrix, this whole collective idea that we've got to go to an office to work a 9-to-5 job and, wear a suit and have this car, the wife, and therefore we become successful in this kind of game.
Life's complete, huh?
That's it. You ticked all the boxes. What's next?
I was thinking about that this morning, but go on.
But yeah, so basically the Matrix kind of emulates the idea that this is not base reality. So, right, you got things like the Sims as well as another example. But the Matrix itself was just a way to portray that, this thing is just a holographic projection. Sometimes I feel like that when I'm on the shrooms. I feel like, well, shit, this whole thing's just light flickering around, creating this sort of 3D reality that we're in, and we think it's real, but it's not. And yeah, the Matrix just kind of shows you that life isn't just what we see. It's just there's some sort of veil that we're yet to kind of uncover and see that connecting to the what's it called? The other movie, Avatar.
I haven't seen Avatar 2, but you were doing the Avatar 2.
Yeah, which...
I see you.
Yeah.
I see you. I see you.
Which speaks more about outside of the Matrix, which is how they connect, right? So Avatar resembles more of the way we used to live back in nature, connecting with God, connecting with our surroundings, the animals, and having that sort of symbiosis with our entire environment. And now, of course, you've got Western civilization that's really destroyed that very deep connection that we've had. And now we're in concrete jungles. Now we're suiting up. We've got shoes on our feet that's disconnecting our souls from the earth, So that was just for me a way to express that reminder that, we're disconnected, and we're all playing this game that we've been foolishly doing for so long because we were born into it. And sometimes we don't know that until we take that red pill. It could be trauma, it could be a drug, it could be some sort of experience, eye-opening experience, some sort of near-death experience, and you think, holy shit, there is more to reality. I'm going to do my research and find out what this life is really about.
Do you think it's changing? Do you think we're heading that way? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I've said this for a while now, and I think we're going to head to that reality where there's going to be a lot of people living in VR, like they did in Black Mirror and Carbon and all these films that, you're living in this thing, this game, this illusion, where, or even Ready Player One, for example, that was another really good film that portrayed that, where we have to play a game in the game to survive in the real world. Who knows if this is the real world? What if there's another reality that we actually exist in, but we're here to play this game to figure this all out, right?
Can we make it? Can we get out of this?
So this is the question. This is the biggest question I think a lot of us are asking. And I think we're all unconsciously trying to find that way out of it. But we can't, because we're somewhat trapped. And the only way is like through death. And well, you can't really escape that. It's just, that's going to come when it's time to come. So,
firstly, we're not trained professionals, right? So we have no PhD or anything hanging up on the wall, but that needs that anyway. But most importantly, I think at the end of the day, love conquers all, but talk. Talk to your family, your friends. Be open, be you. I think that's the real important part. I think don't assume. My biggest pet hate is when people say to me, I assume. Don't assume nothing. Ask. So I'm just trying to say, we can talk about mushrooms and all this kind of stuff, and I've seen a psychologist, I mentioned, of like the last 10 years, and I think they're personal trainers for your brain. As long as you find a good one. I also go to church, but find a right one. And also I see the ministers and everyone in the church contradict themselves. It's one massive contradiction. This world is a massive contradiction. Yeah. So what's important is that you don't contradict, but you have to be flexible in what you do. So like I said, I'd say to you, don't be always headstrong, but don't be also not like, don't have some conviction. You need some conviction. So, and the other thing I was going to say to you is change comes like, I think change is like litter. No one knows you put your rubbish in the bin, right? Because you've been taught don't drop it on the ground, and you still see people doing it. I think if you want to change the world, then you need to treat it like putting it somewhere. But if you keep throwing it on the ground and thinking, what does it matter what I do? It matters, like littering. You put it in a bin and you're doing it for the world. So if you want to make a change, don't just not put it in the right place. I'm not going to call it the bin, but find the place you're supposed to put it and keep doing that rather than just throwing it on the ground. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, man. Put some value into your own ideas and thoughts, because you never know what it could open up to for other people, always place value on your thoughts. And, these things have purpose, and when you figure it out, put it where it needs to be. And, don't be afraid. And like you said, love is the most powerful force. It is the driving force, and that's what can help you escape the matrix, right? If you find love, man, you found the key to this whole thing, and you won't have a single worry about where your life might go, because when you've got that, you've got everything.
And I think also, talking about love again, there's going to be the love podcast now. Love is so many different dimensions. I love my dogs, but it's not how I love my kids, like my dogs. And then I love my partner, which is different to how I love my parents, or how I love my sisters, or how I love my cars, or how I love my motorcycles, or how I love to train. Mate, love is great. Love it all. Obviously at different levels, like I'm saying to you is, I love money too. But like I said, love is, it's in different levels and different feels, but don't believe it's just one love. And the other thing I'll say is, if you fall in love with someone and it only lasted a week, lucky you. Because many people don't feel that. So just go with it. Anyway,
really
let's
like
go.
it.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's true. Okay, let's go with the body. Now I'm going to give you an exercise. A body part. All I want is one exercise. And then I want how many reps, how many sets. So I'm going to start always with the traps. We're going to start up at the top.
The traps, okay.
And if you don't train them, you start don't train them.
Yeah.
And you don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
But traps, is there an exercise? And obviously tell us.
Yeah.
And then give us how many reps and sets.
The main exercise I use for traps nowadays is mainly just the shrugs, and I go 12 to 15 reps and really just try and angle it out so that I'm hitting
When you say angle, how do you angle?
Just slightly forward, elbow slightly forward.
Slightly forward
Yeah.
and up. Oh, so you do upright rows?
Yeah, upright rows. Upright rows.
rows.
Yeah, no. I
That's
don't
a
do
different shrug.
part of it. Yeah, shrugs by the side.
Shrugs like
yeah,
when the
yeah,
cops pull you over and you go, it's not me. It wasn't me. That's shrugs.
Am I on the right podcast?
So upright rows.
Upright rows.
And
Upright
do the
rows.
funny stuff with me, man. You just do your own social media. I'm the funny guy here. Already taken over the show. Typical. Daniel, for God's sake. Soon Chris is going to say we'll use Daniel and get rid of Steve. I'm going to get K-Nagged out. Yeah, okay, so upright rows, buddy.
rows.
Upright rows.
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
That's the one. That's the one.
And you do
upright.
12
to 15.
12
Yeah,
to
yeah.
15. How many sets?
3 sets.
3 sets. Okay. Well, that's going to blow it up in one set, mate. Remember you said we can blow up everything in one set?
Yeah.
We don't have to do
You
3
know,
sets.
we don't.
We know, but we'll go with that. All right, delts. We're going to talk about, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
I've realised there's obviously rear delts, front delts, and there's a side delt.
Yeah.
So give us your rear delt.
Rear delts, I like to angle out my thumbs inwards
Yep.
and use the incline bench and just kind of slightly bring it forward over the shoulders. I find I target them the most. that way.
Incline bench.
Incline bench,
Are you lying
yeah.
on
Chest
it,
is
face
on-
down, chest down?
Chest is on the bench.
Get this right, everybody.
Light, medium dumbbells. I don't go too heavy on them, and I just really focus on isolating them through the.
Chris, we'll try that, eh? Me and Chris are going to get fit with you guys. We don't need personal trainers, mate. We get all this for free. We're not doing this. Exactly right. Who wants to pay over $100 for a personal trainer when we get this for free? All right, so how many sets, how many reps?
12 to 15, set of 3.
3. Okay, that's good. And we'll keep repeating those. I know you could say it's the same thing, but again, people come onto the podcast or come on the social media part and they only get to see some of the stuff. Front delts?
Front delts, I typically just go front raise,
Front raises?
thumbs in. I like to go pretty heavy on these ones.
Heavy?
Yeah, and slightly above the head as well.
And how many reps and sets if you're going
Set of 10. Set of 10, 3. Yeah.
3, okay. And do you do side delts?
Side delts, yeah, I like the lateral raises on those ones, yeah. Medium weight, again, 12 to 15. Just really locking in the elbows and bringing them slightly forward as well.
Okay, nice. All right, chest. I can tell you that even when we did with John, I did not know there was a center chest. He actually emphasized the center chest, which I do dumbbells close and push the center, which I think I can make my center better. So if you don't mind me asking, I know, let's go with upper chest. What do you do for the top of the chest?
Typically, I use dumbbells on the upper chest. I like to try and get a longer range of motion, get a fuller stretch on the chest. Otherwise, I use that on my 3rd or 4th exercise during a push workout. And I try to bring the dumbbells in and just really press through the elbow so I can isolate the chest a little bit more. Versus trying to come...
Is that your upper chest we're talking about?
Upper chest,
Yeah,
yeah.
How many sets, how many reps?
3 sets, go 8 to 12.
8 to 12. And what about chest in general or the center of the chest? You can divide that by 2 there if you want.
Yeah, so the chest, the mass of the chest, I try and go for pre-exhaustion sets because I don't get so much...
What exercise is it?
So I'll do like a fly before I do a dumbbell press.
Okay.
Yeah, so I get a bit of a blood pump going in there and then fatigue them even more when I do a bench press, for example.
Do you fatigue them in reps or weight?
Reps. So I'll just go 15 to 20 reps on a fly and then I'll do a big set of 10 to 12 on a chest press.
Together or you separate them?
So a pre-exhaustion. So I'll do that
What's a pre-exhaustion?
Yeah, so pretty much you just stress out the muscles right before you do a big compound or another exercise as well. So for example, if you're doing squats, you could do leg extensions and go directly into a squat. Your legs are already fucked by then. Or the same thing with, for example, chest, right? You're doing flies and immediately do a chest press.
So you drop the flies and hit the chest?
Yeah, so a superset in a way.
A superset. And then you do it again and super hit it.
Yeah.
Okay, and how many sets?
3 sets.
And I think you said up to 20 with the flies and 10 with the
weight,
with
press.
a big weight.
With a big compound exercise.
All right. So far so good. Let's talk about back, upper back, lower back.
Upper back. So upper back, I generally just go with the pull-ups first. Fatigue.
Pull-ups?
Yeah, pull-ups. Use the body weight.
Do you do, when you say pull-ups, the chin-ups, right?
Yeah.
We call them chin-ups. Do you do behind the head, in front of the head, hands this way?
I like to go really wide on these ones, just to bring it up a little bit further.
Do you bring your chest or do you go behind? What do you do?
I'd go chest above the bar.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll do 3 to 4 sets and just max out on each set.
So whatever number you get to.
Yeah, so whatever it is, so if I fatigue at 20, I'll try and go just a little bit under that first set, the same thing until I get to that 4th set.
Okay. And what about lower back?
Lower back, I like to use the back extensions for those ones. Body weight, just kind of do 3 sets of 20 kilo plates. And then the last one, I'll just drop set it and do body weight as well and just fatigue the fuck out of it.
How many sets, reps?
3 sets of 20, and then on that last one, do another set of 20 on that drop set. So strip the weight off and do it immediately.
Drop.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Okay. All right, we're going to go biceps.
Biceps. Oh, I think my favorite recently has been that new machine at Moore Park War Gym, the one where you've got
Another plug. They're going to have to sponsor us, Chris. We've got 2 of their stars here, by the way.
where you've got the elbows rested on the pads, and they just super isolate the
Good
biceps.
arms, buddy, by the way. I've been watching
Thank you,
your
sir.
arms.
Thank you, sir.
They're not bad.
So yeah, just having on the concentration curls like this, and have the wrist slightly outwards, and then just bring a full pause at the top, and then bring them down
But
very
you're
slowly.
seated. You're seated.
Yeah, seated.
And the
Seated.
machine's got it sorted.
Yeah. So
for
it's got
you.
these cables on there, and they're just really helping keep the tension on throughout the whole movement.
So I guess you could do that on a cable machine.
machine,
If you
yeah.
put a chair in place or put one of the benches there, you could do it. Or
Yeah.
you could do it with dumbbells too, I
Absolutely,
suppose.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, how many sets?
3 sets of 12. 3 sets of
12, okay. Tricep.
triceps. Oh, okay. I really like the overhead extension on the dumbbells, on those ones, all the way down, and
Everyone
then
likes that overhead extension.
yeah, I just feel I get the most tension out of those ones. Otherwise, another really good one I enjoy is the reverse cables. Yeah, those ones
That
are
kind of
really.
gets you inside, doesn't it? I don't
That's
know,
right.
It hits me inside.
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
How many sets, reps?
Overhead, I go 10 to 15, and on the reverse ones, I go about 15 to 20.
Yeah, that one you can go a bit light. You can go a bit more because you can't find the weight on that, can
No,
you?
yeah.
Because it can blow you up very early. You can go 3 and you go, I can't do it. And then
Yeah.
you've got something that you go to 50. It's really finding the weight on that one, I believe,
100%,
anyway. Before we get down to the legs, what about abs? Give me an ab exercise.
I typically just go for crunches with a bit of weight, you know?
Cable crunches?
No, sorry, lying down weighted. Same thing with the cable crunches as well.
Okay.
I'm just really
lying
in
on
that.
your back,
Yeah.
sit-ups, but with a weight on your chest.
That's it. Yeah, I really like those ones. I find
Tell me
them.
something. How high do you need to go up with the stomach? How with your abs?
Hmm.
Once upon a time, Oz aerobics, Oz style back in the 80s, you had to come all the way up, and then you see other ones going up a little bit. How far do you need to go?
You don't have to go all the way up because when you're going all the way up, you're starting to really use your hip flexors instead versus your actual core. So, I mean, just a slight roll of the shoulders off the ground and come back down.
Yeah. How many sets, reps?
I'll go 4 sets of 20. Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm already feeling that one. All right, quads. Give us a quad exercise.
Oh, I really like supersetting sissy squats with leg extensions.
What's a sissy squat?
So sissy squat is an old school exercise where you're just using the body weight, and basically you kind of you're standing up and you bring your knees to the ground.
Is it the one where you bend?
Yeah, you're bending forward.
You look like you're doing that thing where you go under the bar, that dance.
Oh,
What's it called, that thing? What's it called, the one where you go under the bar?
yeah, I know what you're talking
It's a
about.
Mexican or Spanish.
Yeah, like the game, and the bar gets lower and lower.
Oh, is that what it is? Kind of. Is that a sissy? Is that what you're doing?
So you're just leaning back, and you've got your hips straight, and you bring your knees towards the ground.
And don't you go on your toes when you're doing that? So it's kind of like that movement. Is that what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, very much. And yeah, you come in, bringing yourself back up.
Ooh, I feel
Yeah,
the pain already.
supersetting that with leg extensions gives you one hell of a quad pump.
That
Yeah.
is-
Oh man.
I've got to save all this stuff.
Yeah.
And how many sets, reps? How do you superset it?
So I will start with the leg extensions first. I'll go 15, 20.
Yeah.
And then I'll do set of 10 on the sissy squats.
And then
just very
how long
slow.
do you rest to go back?
Oh, about like 90 seconds. Yeah.
And how many sets? Reps?
3 sets.
Three sets. So 15 and 10. Is that
Yeah,
what you said?
that's it, yeah.
15,
15, 10.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What about hammies?
Hammies are my favorite RDLs.
RDLs.
Romanian deadlifts. Just kind of stiff legging your way. So minimize the bend in your knees, and I like to keep the tension on throughout the whole movement. So I choose a medium weight and just really try and keep the bar off the ground, the weight off the ground, and do about 15 to 20 sets, 20 reps for 3 sets.
Tell me something. You know the bit where people used to use there was a squat machine.
Yeah.
The one where you get underneath it, it's on your shoulders, and
Yeah.
then you unlock it and you're squatting down. I've seen people turn around and they're doing like their ass sticking out in the air.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
that really work?
Oh,
You know, everyone's doing that and they're videotaping their ass, even guys, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Is it a hammy exercise?
Oh, look, it really comes down to the positioning of your feet and your
It's like a Chinese bow.
Yeah,
if you know what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
So
the
you
pendulum.
instead of having the bar and squat like that, you've turned around now. You've got your face on the pad.
Yeah.
And you're going backwards. Does that make sense? Like it's a squat.
It does.
but
It
it's a reverse
does.
squat.
It does. Look, it does work. And
Just thought I'd ask.
yeah.
I'm doing it anyway.
yeah, no, it does work, and it's just really getting down to your hamstrings more and your foot positioning. So you are not using so much of your quads, and I think that's why they're reversing that position. So yeah, so you're just hitting more of the hamstrings instead.
I've also discovered. I train at Hardcore in Carlton. You
Yeah,
probably know
yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
That they've got this leg press machine that you actually lying on your back.
Oh yeah.
And I found if you find the spot, it actually hits your hammies non-stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Like all I feel is my hammies.
Yeah, they've
Not
got
even it's just on your back.
Yeah.
So you're coming right down
Yeah.
like and then you're pushing up, and all I feel is all the hammies. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The bit of lying on your back and lifting straight up.
Yeah. They've got one in Moore Park as well. I've seen that one. It's really good. It's really effective. I love that one. No, I don't see many people use it. Fucking take advantage of it, son.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I do that one. I do. At the moment, I'm doing everything 20. Like I try to go to a rep myself that makes me do 2 reps, and I don't want to do them. So I get to the point where I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
And I went, one more, and I go, one more.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to train at the moment, because I found I seem to be just stopping, and I think there's more in the tank.
Yeah.
And I can't find the weight.
Yep.
So I find the rep, which is roughly around the 20 reps at the
Okay.
moment, which is crazy. I've never trained that way, but John had given me some tips there. What about the gluteus maximus?
Oh, hip thrusters.
Hip
I'm big-
thrusters?
yeah, big fan of hip thrusters because you're working your whole legs as well. Yeah, I generally use the machine. I don't like to use the bar too much. And I just slap on a medium weight and go between 15 and 20 reps and just really give it a good pause.
How many sets?
3 sets.
3 sets. And a good pause.
Big pause at the end.
How long would you pause?
Oh, 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
2-second pause. Okay. And calves.
Standing calves, they're my fave. And I like to switch it up between in, neutral, and out. So we're getting all angles of the
How
calves.
many reps then?
15 to 20, 4 sets at least. Yeah.
And do you? John said, but do you train the tibialis?
Do I? No.
Even though Ryan told me he read it as tabuli, but I still don't think I spelled it correctly anyway. But he's reading my notes, the bastard.
Yeah.
And I said, don't read my notes, buddy. And it's because it's bad English. Tibialis. You train tibialis?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. Okay. Well, man, I think we've asked enough, and we've got to the bits that we want. Can you just tell everyone where they can find you, Dan?
Absolutely. Our main plug is the Instagram, Daniel John Allen, and then you'll find everything on there from my TikTok to my website and YouTube channel as well. So that's the main plug. Just check it out, Daniel John Allen. And yeah, you'll find all my resources, videos, and things like that over there.
On
Instagram. Yeah,
but you're also on TikTok?
I'm also on TikTok, Daniel J. Allen. So Daniel, the letter J, A-L-L-E-N as well.
And you're a personal trainer?
Personal trainer as well.
What else can they use you for?
Hey.
Besides mushrooms and all the other... no wonder's in the Eastern Suburbs, mate. Everyone from Lakemba's driving to his place, and then they're driving back to Lakemba, and they're singing those songs. The dogs.
You could also help me for. You could also use me to help build your content as well.
Okay.
So yeah,
It's competing with you, Chris. Now we shouldn't have done that plug. But that's all right. All right, your content, okay, and personal training.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all I want to say is thank you so much.
Oh,
what
man.
a great podcast.
that was absolutely amazing. Such an honor to be here, man. And really,
We're humbled, man, for being on episode 2 with us. Let's hope that's our foundation building on other foundations.
absolutely.
Thank you so much, bro.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank
Pleasure.
you. Cheers.